Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Marco Nuyen and I'm a trainer at Microsoft. This video is part of a series of videos about the role of a Microsoft cybersecurity architect. In this video, we focus on aspects bringing elements together in Defender XDR. Discover how Microsoft Defender XDR unifies security operations and empowers you to protect application data with cutting-edge strategies, all in one essential video for cybersecurity architects. The content of this video is mostly aligned with the area of solutions for application data. It's from a certification perspective. So why Defender XDR? That's the main question for this video. What we want to discuss is the capabilities that we can leverage from Defender XDR. Now, Zero Trust is built on 6 main pillars, often shown in this reference graphic. Reviewing this framework highlights key capabilities within each area, aiding protection, detection, and response. Defender-focused approach. Identity is mostly covered by Entra, data is mostly covered by Purview, infrastructure and network is mostly covered by Defender for Cloud. But how to deal with applications and endpoints and maybe some data? How can we start also to cross-correlate more? Now, for strong coordinated protection and rapid action across different areas, it is important to see how Defender XDR brings endpoint, identity, data, and app security together in one platform, enabling organizations to implement Zero Trust effectively. Quick orientation based on the graphic from the MC array. I've highlighted areas of interest, endpoints as in servers, phones, laptops, but also as in operational technology and Internet of Things, IoT. Identity as in modern identity-based protocols such as SAML, WS Federation, and Open Authentication, but also legacy identities rooted in protocols as Kerberos and NTLM. The ones we find in Entra ID and the ones that we find with Active Directory domain services, the on-premises capability from a directory perspective. And also highlighted the Security Operations Center, where all data from everywhere flows together and we make sense of that holistically, and where we respond in case of an incident. Examining the MC array from another perspective, specifically in relation to security operations in a SOC, reveals a clearer connection to the mindmap referenced earlier. Defender for Cloud and its associated defenders primarily focus on infrastructure and platform as a service, where Defender XDR addresses additional areas. Defender for Cloud coordinates its respective defenders similarly, and Defender XDR organizes several other defenders as well. Defenders are a family of products that help to protect your cloud and hybrid environments from various threats. And they do this by gathering data from different sources, such as logs, alerts, events, and telemetry, by checking the configuration and compliance of your resource and policies and providing recommendations to improve your security posture. They will also be useful for delivering advisories and alerts based on the latest threat intelligence and behavioral analytics, and prioritizing them according to severity and impact. They will also help detecting anomalies and suspicious activities across your attack surface and correlating them to identify attack chains and root causes. Mapping the detected threats to the MITRE ATT&CK framework and providing rich contextual information and investigation tools. They will also help you to act on the identified threats by providing automation or a manual response action such as isolating a device, blocking IP address, or deleting files. And defenders work together. They work together to provide a comprehensive and unified defense for your cloud and hybrid environments, and they enable you to achieve faster detection, investigation, and response. Now, Defender XDR is fed by some other sources as other defenders. Some of these were individual standalone capabilities, but we need to combine the info from sources to get the full picture. To see the event for an identity and a device and to be able to correlate that with an activity and an application manipulating data, for example, it is all connected. And Defender XDR typically connects that together. On the graphic, I've listed some capabilities that flow into Defender XDR and for which the configuration is now controlled through Defender XDR. And also listed the 2 other main players, Defender for Cloud and a capability where everything can flow into ultimately Microsoft Sentinel. But let us connect a couple of dots here when it comes to Defender XDR. We want to solve the problem of visibility and connectivity. A harmful payload can infect an endpoint and use an identity on that endpoint to jump to other endpoints, or it can compromise an application or data. The defenders that are part of Defender XDR, they have their role, but we also want them to work together. That is why they are connected to Defender XDR. And we want to bring in more than only the defenders. And in this graphic, we also see something else. Other challenges or issues that we need to handle. At the bottom of the graphic, we see insider threats, insider risks, unintentional leaks, unhappy employees, violations. These are not issues caused by a malicious actor. These are issues caused by normal users, but we still have a problem with that. We also need to find a way to handle that kind of situation. Now, these elements relate to insider risk management, and the examples on the current slide illustrate what these risk patterns could look like, which can be set up for detection. The video does not cover the topic further, as it relates to the purview capabilities. There's a whole course on that, and some elements from that foundation are part of the role of a Microsoft cybersecurity architect. Now, back to the unified security operations platform, back to Defender XDR and the integration. We integrate XDR and Purview and Sentinel for unified visibility and complete data coverage. Defender XDR has evolved into a single operations platform, security operations platform, with Microsoft Defender combining SIEM functionality, SOAR functionality, and XDR capabilities, but also posture management, cloud security, threat intelligence, and generative AI capabilities in the form of Security Copilot. The Defender portal centralizes services like Microsoft Defender XDR, Sentinel, exposure management, and, like I said, Security Copilot, enabling integrated protection and streamlined monitoring, detection, investigation, and response to cybersecurity threats. I like this graphic that is in the documentation about the Unified Security Operations Platform because it shows nicely how things are flowing. And these are flows that you want to inspect as a cybersecurity architect and to validate in an environment to make sure, well, they get turned on and are streamed into a similar pattern like we see here on the graphic. And this is the new default. If you're not aware of it, this is the new default for the Microsoft portfolio. For new environments, everything is unified into Microsoft Defender. For organizations that are already using the independent components, there is time to get the integration going before the new default will be effectuated. As a Microsoft cybersecurity architect, you need to use the services and dashboards to assess the current state and identify areas for improvement. You need to check which defenders are operating and which assets are monitored by Microsoft Defender. The platform can only analyze onboarded elements. It can't identify vulnerabilities like threat and vulnerability management issues on devices that are not onboarded, where it doesn't have visibility. For onboarded devices, onboarded capabilities, it leverages behavioral data and threat intelligence to help pinpoint systems that need attention. Now, collaborate with your organization's subject matter experts or enhance your own knowledge by taking a course like the Security Operations Analyst course, the SC-100, which covers these topics in depth. Now, the SC-200 materials are really also very useful for preparing yourselves for the SC-100 Cybersecurity Architect certification. We are at the end of this video. The topic was Defender XDR. I hope you are now better able to understand what it is and what it can bring to you. Now, for further reading, the best starting place is the Defender XDR page. Easy access by using the short link mentioned here. But next to that, start learning and transitioning to the Unified Security Operations Platform with Microsoft Defender, aka.ms/UNSecOps. And ramp up a bit more on technologies that make up the Security Operations Platform by using the Security Operations courseware at aka.ms/course SC-200. Thank you for watching the video. There are more in the series. Meet you again in another one. Until that time, stay safe.